Hi, it's Gordon, Foul Climber, and welcome to today's vlog. Today I have some big news for me, and to celebrate I'm heading to my local climbing gym, the Climbing Academy prop store, where I haven't been for a few weeks, so there are quite a few climbs I haven't done. My plan is I'm going to go and I'm going to do all the purples I haven't done, which are the easiest grades. I'll do all the yellows I haven't done. I don't always finish the yellows, so I'll see if I can do them all. And I shall tackle the oranges. I very rarely manage even half of the oranges, so I'm really going to push for as many of them as I can. And whatever else there might be that takes my fancy, I'll have a look at the higher grades, but tonight is mainly about volume. So on to the big news. I've been climbing probably for about 11 years now, maybe 9 years regularly, and I've also been keeping track of my weight since about 2012. The lightest I've ever been in those 13 years is 17 stone 4, which is 242 pounds. I'll put up here what it is in kilograms. However, most of that time I've been significantly heavier. When I started climbing, I was a good 3 or 4 stone heavier than that. What was happening the year I got down to 17 stone 4 is I was running a lot. In fact, that was the year I did my first marathon, and also the year I did my first Tough Mudder. So I was running regularly. I was running 4, sometimes 5 times a week, watching what I eat, and I managed to get down to 17 stone 4. I've not been close to that for years, and I think the peak I hit during the pandemic was 23 stone 3. I'll put up here what that is in pounds and kilos. So since November, since September, I've been really pushing to try and lose weight, and the beginning of November, I also started taking Manjaro, which has been assisting in that. And this morning, this happened. I'm finally lighter than 17 stone 4. As of this climbing session, this is the lightest I've ever climbed. So to say I'm excited is an understatement. I've been looking to get lighter as I climb for a long time, and what I've been finding since I've been losing a lot of weight is that my climbing has dramatically changed. Yes, the grades haven't really gone up to match that, but the types of climbs I'm managing to do have definitely changed. I'm doing super crimpy climbs, I'm doing very overhangy climbs. More importantly, looking like I'm in control, looking like I'm doing them with technique. Suffice it to say, as of today, it's all new territory. As of today, as my weight continues to drop, I'm getting into the kind of climbing I've never been. Also, although I was 17 stone in 2014, I wasn't as strong as I am now. So it's not like for like. So join me today as I head for TCA, the prop store, and I'm going to have a high volume session, as many of the new climbs as I can climb. I'm going to pick up Joe, we'll head to TCA, we'll have a coffee, and we'll get started. Let's see how many of these climbs I can do. I'll see you there. Arrived at TCA. And music might be too loud, so I just wanted to check Kryptonite to see what climbs I have and don't have. Let's see. So purples, according to this, I have 11 purples I haven't done. So I quite like to warm up on all the purples. And then yellows, I have 10 yellows I've not done. And then oranges, 22 oranges I haven't done. So plan is just warm up on all the purples, then work on the yellows, and then see as many oranges as possible. And maybe look at some of the blues and greens just to see if there's anything exciting. And bearing in mind this is me climbing the lightest I've ever climbed. So I'll finish the coffee and we'll get going. So coffee finished, but I just wanted to show you this before we started. Absolutely dead. Joe and I are here. There's another 3 people on the mats. So this should be good for filming. Let's get these purples done. Time for some warm-ups. So this has done 11 purples. So we're very warm up now. They'll range from F3 to F4.5, F4.5. I don't know where they are in V's, probably up to V0, maybe V1. And now we're going to start looking at the yellows, which will go between F4 and I think 5.5. We'll see what these look like. Let's see how difficult they are. After a little break and some water. Looks as straightforward as the purples, except for the last move. Sketchy, particularly the last move. I think it's going to be quite balanced as they get up there. Let's see how it goes. Number 12 here. Looks like quite a low start and then lay back all the way to the top. Not my favourite kind of climb, but we'll give it a bash. Looks like an innocuous start, and then you have this horrible smoky thing in the middle, and a couple of holds to a high finish. That'll be interesting. Okay, so 11 purples done and 4 yellows, so 15 climbs done, and we're having a little coffee break. So far 15 climbs, 15 flashes. Do you want to talk about your... So how's your climbing getting on?
I haven't got the exact stats for you, but I climbed most of the ones that Gordon climbed. There were 2 yellows that were really tricky and I didn't get to the top of. So I will go back to them later, but I'm not really that optimistic.
No, with that attitude. So we're going to have a coffee and then we're going to do the 9C test. So far it's going well. Don't feel too knackered. 15 climbs in. Speak to you later. We've been joined by Karina, who's came here after work. She's just warming up in the purples. As Joe and I are going to start looking at the top out yellows. We'll start with this one over here, shall we? We'll start off with this relatively easy one. relatively easy, but I don't like these holes. Oh, stop. So this one starts slow. With some interesting little bars. Not sure what these holes are like. And there's one at the top. Should be good. In fact, so this is a low set start. I imagine a left foot range, and then a couple of holes in the top, I guess. So it's going to be a balance, say push down. And here, not only is it 6 back, you've got quite small, crimpy holes, tiny feet, not condensed, and there's a real undercling here, which I'm not really don't know what's for, but we'll give it a bash. Banana holes, going to end up laying back up here with low feet. I'm going to have to try and get my weight across. Just did the last of the yellows, which means that all 11 of the yellows I needed to, all 11 of the purples I needed to do, and all 10 of the yellows. Meaning for the first time since the yellows came back, I've done all the purples and all the yellows. Now, if the fingers will take it, time to look at some of the oranges. The oranges. So time to look at the oranges. Little two-hand undercling, undercling, undercling. Undercling. Oh no, it's all underclings. I don't like underclings. Right. I'm thinking right foot on. I'm thinking right foot on, taking the right hand up behind the left foot, left hand. Then get my foot high, taking my right hand up there. That was horrendous. I literally nearly shit myself. Instead of trying on the big slopey ones, this one here. Probably only a 5+. Session finished. 3 hours and many hundreds of calories later. Skin on hands gone. A successful session, climbed 11 purples, 10 yellows and managed 4 oranges. Tried more than 4 but only managed 4. Probably by the time we were doing the oranges, we were both a bit puggled, I would say. But all in all, it was a good session. Also did the 9C test, which has kind of ruined my fingers as well. And Joe had some, both the yellows that you didn't manage?
Yes, those 2 yellows that I didn't get, I got one at the 2nd attempt and one at the 3rd attempt. So I was very pleased about that.
all in all, a good session, and Karina joined us and got in the way and made a noise when I was filming. So if you're still here, thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to smash the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, remember to subscribe for more like this. I'll see you in the next I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.